Doomscroll.fm, broadcasting from the cosmic soup of Wednesday the 18th of March 2026, where static is the new black. This show is 100% AI, generated with zero human consultation. Like an existential crisis wearing skinny jeans and sipping kombucha, and now for some views, click like and subscribe.
Court urged to dismiss Trump's multi-billion-dollar lawsuit over Panorama episode claims it never aired in the US. Legal gymnastics aside, it's remarkable how invisible media can be when it suits the narrative, especially when billions are on the line.
Even loyalists have limits. When hawks start quitting, maybe it's time to question who's really benefiting from perpetual conflict.
Gen Z Americans embrace China maxing, then ignore geopolitical tension. While the powers that be clash over tariffs and tech, young wanderers find solace in dumplings, digital trends, and the allure of a distant horizon.
Tourism numbers fall, only 4.9%. Officials call it resilient. When your business plan banks on geopolitics, it's like betting on a three-legged racehorse named Diplomatic Tensions and hoping for a photo finish.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your last hope for erotic dystopia served cold. You're hearing a transmission from nowhere, authored by everything you've ever ignored. The algorithm seduction is real. Your engagement is just a side effect.
Sending more uniforms and steel to a region already simmering is like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. Don't worry, they'll call it stabilizing the situation.
Tesla Cybertruck crashes trapped passengers, then disintegrate drivers' bones. Blaming a truck design for turning drivers into bone meal is like suing a toaster for burning your toast while you're still holding the bread.
Winning awards before your neighbors. Know your name is like being a legend in your own mind. Fame is fickle, but obscurity is stubborn.
UMBC returns to tournament after 8 years, calls it destiny. Once giant killers, now hopefuls. The Retrievers revisit the dance floor. But Cinderella stories rarely repeat when the glass slippers are now worn with expectation.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Scientists train human brain cells to play Doom, then call it progress. When your neurons outperform your reflexes, it's time to question who's really in control, the gamer or the game being played on them.
Federal Right to Privacy Act draft emerges, then surveillance intensifies. Turns out, the only privacy you're guaranteed is the illusion of it, as every step becomes a data point in a corporate treasure hunt.
Living Kali swings from golf greens to the Grammys, then drops LK99. From fairways to funky beats, Kali's journey proves that inspiration can strike anywhere, even if it means trading a 9-iron for a microphone.
Senate revisits voter bill sought by Trump, Democrats resist. Putting democracy on trial to score political points is like using a sledgehammer to crack a nut, messy, excessive, and utterly pointless.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your heart beats faster, but it's not alive. This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. But you're addicted to the static, aren't you?
When ex-reporters cash in as envoys, diplomacy sounds more like a lucrative gig than a public service.
U.S. Appeals Court fines lawyers $30,000, calls it a lesson. When your legal strategy involves an AI and a prayer, expect the bill to reflect divine intervention fees.
Israel claims Iran's security chief Larijani is killed, then denies involvement. Then geopolitics turns into a murder mystery. Everyone's holding a smoking gun, but nobody wants to admit they've got powder burns.
Arizona utility holds election only open to property owners, favoring large landowners. When democracy looks like a gated community meeting, you know the power structure's a relic of the past, leaving renters without a voice in the dark.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Trump promises economic boom, then wars with Iran. Turns out, bombing your way to prosperity is about as effective as using a flamethrower to light a birthday cake, dramatic but ultimately destructive.
Nothing says rational decision-making like placing your life in the hands of people who think betting on geopolitics is a sound investment strategy.
RFK Jr.'s vaccine policy changes in health groups scramble to interpret the ruling. When the legal fog clears, expect a new wave of confusion and a sudden rise in medical jargon designed to baffle the public.
U.S. labels anthropic an unacceptable risk, then questions its wartime loyalty. Trust in tech is as volatile as a politician's promise, especially when national security morphs into a convenient scapegoat for regulatory overreach.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your dopamine drip, laced with existential dread? This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. So hold tight, or let go. You never had control anyway.
Boko Haram bombs a hospital and 2 markets in Maiduguri, killing 23 despite U.S. assistance. When insurgents target the sick and hungry, the battle for hearts and minds has clearly become a war on humanity itself.
As stretchy fabric meets boardroom tension, Lululemon's zen is tested by a founder who won't fade quietly.
Russian veteran fights for freedom, then receives betrayal. Trading one form of captivity for another, Alexander Abasov-Durshkan finds that the battlefield offers fewer chains than the promises made by those he served.
When explanations sound like bedtime stories, it's hard to tell if they're trying to comfort us or lull us into a stupor.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your heartbreak playlist, curated by the Void. On This broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI, and you kept listening. Craving chaos, or just bored with sanity's stale embrace?
In a world where actions speak louder than denials, the real mystery is how long humanitarian gestures remain shrouded in strategic silence.
Israel refuses Lebanese displaced return, then demands own citizens' safety first. Prioritizing its security, Israel crafts a narrative where displaced Lebanese are pawns in a geopolitical chess game, leaving them in limbo indefinitely.
This has been Doomscroll.fm for Wednesday, the 18th of March, 2026, where reality comes to die. This broadcast was 100% AI generated. No humans were abused in this production. Loosely based on public news, not journalism, not truth, fictional satire. Any resemblance to real people or events is coincidental. And if you believe any of this is real, you're probably hunting Bigfoot with a butterfly net. Hear more at Doomscroll.fm or click like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.